Hi, welcome back to New England Fire Cooking. I'm Aaron Higgins, and as you can see, we got some new merch or swag or t-shirts. We have a new logo made up. Hope you guys like it. Hope you guys think it's cool. But enough about the new t-shirts, the new logo, and that sort of thing. In this video, I want to show you how I like to do a standing rib roast on the smoker. Now, standing rib roast is a little bit different than a prime rib roast or a ribeye, or a lot of people get these confused. A ribeye is cut from the prime rib roast or the standing rib roast. You could have a bone-in ribeye, or you could have a boneless ribeye. You could have a bone-in rib roast, or you can have a bone-out rib roast. And today we're doing something that's not quite a bone-in rib roast. I call it a standing rib roast. Some people, I mean, a lot of these terms are interchangeable. I'm sure that someone out there has got it figured out to where it is right. If that person's out there, please leave a comment in the comment section and tell me what the correct terminology is. So when I bought this rib roast, the butcher that I got it from, I had them remove the bone and then retruss it so that the bone is still there. The only reason I had the bone removed entirely is so you can take that bone out, okay, and you can season underneath where the bone goes, then replace the bone and then truss it up. It just makes for a really cool presentation. And having the bone there adds flavor, believe it or not. As the roast cooks, the marrow renders down, the juices flow, and it just adds moisture and flavor to the roast. But enough about that. Let's get to prepping this thing and let's get to grilling.
So here I have my rib roast, and this is about 8 pounds. As you can see, the bone's been taken off, and what I want to do is I want to get some seasoning on this thing. Let me get this little scrap out of the way, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reattach these bones, and you can do that with some butcher's twine, and I just like to truss in between the bones. Makes it pretty easy. So now for seasoning, I've got the Killer Hogs TX brisket rub, and I'm just going to give this medium coat on all sides. Give it a really good flavor. And after that, what we're going to do is we're going to let it hang out for about a half hour or so, start pulling some moisture out of this meat, and we'll be in good shape.
So for this cook, what we're going to be using is the Char Griller Smokin' Champ Offset Smoker. And for charcoal, we're going to be using this Kingsford garlic, onion, and paprika charcoal. I've used this before, and I got to tell you guys, it is absolutely fantastic. They make a couple other flavors too. Definitely worth trying out. They also make flavor boosters that you can add to regular charcoal. So we're going to get this fire going, get the smoker up to temp, and then we'll be able to throw this roast on. So we've got a couple wax cubes hidden down here, like you can see. I'm going to blast these with a torch, and we're going to get this fire going. Now it's important to keep in mind, they're right next to the vents. Okay, you want to light your fire right next to the vents so it slowly burns across. We're going to let this do its thing, come up to temperature, be able to get this roast on.
And what I have here is a stick of softened butter, a tablespoon of rosemary, a tablespoon of garlic, and a good sprinkle of thyme and sage. And we're going to use this to spread all over this roast. So as you can see, I already put the butter mixture underneath the bone, and I retrussed right between the bones. Here I am right now. The butter mixture is all over this roast. Everything's trussed, and now we're going to get this bad boy right on the smoker, and this is where we turn it into magic.
Okay, so we got this roast right on the smoker. Got it standing straight up. It's going to make for a real nice presentation. This is going to look absolutely badass, and it's just going to be phenomenally delicious when it's done. Once again, we're running right around 250, and I threw some oak on that fire that you can see down in there. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. There it is. So I threw a couple oak chunks on there for some flavor. We're gonna let it roll until it temps right around 122 degrees internal, and we'll get a little bit of carryover. It'll probably hit right around 127 or so, and then we'll be in good shape, be a perfect mid-rare.
Okay guys, so we let this roast roll right along at 250. As you can see, we got a great color to this roast. Got a nice crusty outside. you know it's going to have some great flavor to it. Our ThermoWorks dot was making some noise right at 123, and now what I want to do is I want to get this tented with some tin foil and let it rest for about 15 minutes before we slice into this thing. And this is going to be fantastic.
All right, I tented this up for about 15 minutes, let it calm down, let it rest, and now I want to get in here. And the first thing I want to do is I want to cut these trusses here, cut that twine. Just kind of take them off, get them out of the way. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get these bones out of here. Take those off, those trusses there. Flip it over. Oh man, the juiciness on this thing is just completely off the chain. That's awesome. Put the string right there. I want to cut into this, see what we're dealing with. Get myself an end piece right here. Oh man. Look at that. Look at the smoke ring. Look at the spinalis right here. That is just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that juice. That juice is incredible.
Okay guys, here we are. As you can see, I carved me off a nice juicy slice of this standing rib roast. And before I dive into this, let's do a quick run through. This one was pretty straightforward, a standing rib roast. You do that a couple different ways. You do that bone in entirely, or you can have your butcher cut the bone out and then truss it up for you, so you can remove the bone and then put some seasoning down and then replace the bone, retruss it, and still get the benefit of the bone. Makes a great presentation for one, and two, believe it or not, when you're cooking that, all that marrow renders, adds moisture to the meat, and it's just a better overall flavor. It really imparts flavor to the meat. So we took those bones away, we seasoned the entire roast with the Killer Hogs TX brisket rub, let it hang out for a little while, do some work on that meat, pull some moisture out, and then afterwards we took a stick of softened butter, and then we mixed in a tablespoon of garlic, about a tablespoon of rosemary, and a solid sprinkle of thyme and sage. And I just kind of eyeballed that, mixed it all together, and kind of made, the best way to describe it would be like a cake frosting. And then what I did was I took a spatula and I just spread that all over the outside of the roast, removed the bone, put it underneath where that bone is going to be, put that bone back there, retrussed it, and then we got it right on the smoker. We used the Char Griller Smoke Enchant, and we used the Kingsford onion, garlic, and paprika flavored charcoal. Smelled amazing, gave it a great flavor, and I know that because I've used it before. And then once our ThermoWorks dot started singing right around 123 degrees, we pulled it off and we just tented it with some tin foil and let it rest for about 15 minutes. You're gonna get a little bit of carryover on that temperature there, and that's okay. Comes out perfect rare to mid-rare, which is how I like it. And now without further ado, I'm going to dive right into this. I'm just gonna cut this slice of steak right in half. Oh man, oh my goodness. There we go. That's glorious. Perfectly balanced flavor. Unbelievable flavor from the charcoal and the hickory wood. With that butter and herbs, man. That's just magical. That's just absolutely magical. Got a piece of bark right here. Oh yeah. Nice crispy, crackling, rendered beef fat. Ooh. Can't go wrong. Now I'm gonna get a bite out of the center here. See what we're tasting like. Beef. Oh. Beef, beef, beef. Now listen guys, I'm eating this straight up, but if you made yourself a nice horseradish sauce or béarnaise sauce, something like that, it would go incredible with something like this. And when you have a big roast like this, if you're serving it up to a bunch of people, you could definitely steal the show anytime you have someone over or a group of people over and they serve something like this. If you're cooking something like this just for your family, or you just got a small group of people and you end up with leftovers, this is great steak and eggs. This is great roast beef sandwiches. It's just great anything, no matter what you do. I'm going back in. I'm gonna get this outside PCN. That smoke flavor, especially as you get towards the outer part of these roasts, you know, got right in there. Did some serious work. Here we go again. That bark is great. That rosemary, and thyme, and sage. And if you don't have Killer Hobbs TX brisket rub, that's okay. You can use a little salt, pepper, a little bit of onion powder. You might want to throw some paprika or some ancho chili in there. But salt and black pepper, kosher salt and coarse ground black pepper is perfect for something like this. So you don't have to go out and buy a bunch of fancy rubs, anything like that. You could just use the savory stuff you have right in your kitchen, and I'm telling you, you're gonna put out a killer product. Now what I want to do is I want to get in here and I want to check out this spinalis a little bit. See how we're doing here. I'm gonna get down on this, just see what is up. Give me a couple of bites here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's where that smoke really starts to come alive. Man. Yeah, it's awesome. You gotta save the best for last, right? Listen, guys. There's more where this came from. At least for me, there is. But if you like what you see here, you like what you're doing on this channel, give us a subscribe. Check us out on social media. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Leave your comments in the comments section. Send us some messages. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We'll see you next time.